Welcome to the Free Idea Podcast. I thought this episode was gonna be funny, because I was coming up with ideas, but they started looking very sad. I thought this was how I started. Let's think of ways I can tax people for doing things that they must do and they cannot escape. Let's tax them on things that are necessary, not optional. And this goes for the US. And so I started thinking of very unfair practices on taxing people for things that they cannot control. And I started coming up with ideas that turned out to be true, like already implemented. And I thought, damn, that's depressing. Hella depressing. For some reason, I couldn't think of any worse ideas from what we already have. So enjoy. Here they are. I was putting in no particular order. This holds true for like 90% of them from what I just said. And then the other 10, I just cuckoo land, but maybe it happens one day. For my first one is all taxes, right? Tax for having children. You will be taxed just for having them. I know that right now we have these little tax breaks where the more you have, the less you pay in taxes, apparently, as long as you file your taxes correctly. Who knows how to do that? But this one is you just taxed. That's it. You get taxed more at work. Actually, you have to buy permit for having children and keep it rolling. Call it the father permit or parent permit, and you'll be taxed for that. If you want to have 2 children, you'll be taxed, 20%. If you have 4, you'll be taxed 40%. This is to stop people from having children coming near in some future. Air tax for breathing, for having clean air, actually, not breathing. For having just clean air in the city, and whatever rules need to be implemented to keep the air cops, knocking on people's doors at 3 a.m. because they have burdened the air with, I don't know, burning a meal. All that stuff costs money to pay those cops and to come up with random laws. So, tax for air. And I was thinking, wait a minute, we already kind of have that. The green taxes in Europe, where, I don't know, cars are taxed a certain way or companies because they want to make cars less gassy. Well, how about a parking tax? What is that? Parking tax for parking your car? No, we do have that, sadly. It's called just, I don't know, any city in the US where you want to park your car. You got to pay. Actually, I meant park as in the park that's near your house where you run and walk your dog. And I thought, man, what a clever idea. Yeah, imagine just being taxed to use the park. And then I thought, wait a minute, but we already are. Parks are public infrastructure that were built according to the needs of the public using our tax money. So I thought, okay, that's silly. What if I didn't want a park, huh? Huh? Y'all never think of that one. How about a tax? I know we're all super healthy oriented people here in the US. Let's just imagine that you work so hard for years, 5 years of lifting weights and eating all organic food and just paying attention to everything you eat. And you become too sexy and hot. Well, there's a tax for that, a tax for being too sexy. And I don't even know how would that be enforced. But if you're too sexy, you essentially pay more taxes. I don't know, you're stealing something, stealing eyesight from people. Then there's the internet tax just for using it. And I thought, okay, yeah, that's cleverly, Norwegian or like a dictator. But we already do pay the internet bill and it is already taxed. So, okay. Sunlight tax. Just to be on the sun, you get taxed because in some future we will have an umbrella that just covers the entire sky because the sun has gotten too hot. And only the rich people will be able to have a permit or permission to open a little hole in that umbrella with a little control remote or something. And just having that feature for them to open that little hole so they have sunlight outside their house, that's going to be taxed. All right. Same thing with the full moon. If you want to see the stars and the moon at night because there's that umbrella, you're going to be taxed, mister. Ain't no free sky in this life. You heard there's nothing free in life? Well, not even looking at the sky is going to be free. All right. Get used to it. Um, Car tax, I talked about that one. Green tax, yep. I think I repeated that idea. See? It came twice. Commercial tax. So you'll be taxed for watching commercials. Now that's a beautiful one because commercials are always in your face. They're not in your control. You'll just be paying taxes on them. You know those billboards that are outside when you drive around, made out of paper, and then there's the ones that are like screens to change. Well, imagine you're paying taxes for having those billboards up there. Maybe they repair the infrastructure of it. And then when you're in YouTube, you gotta watch a mini commercial in order to watch the bigger commercial, in order for you to skip it later. You'll be taxed to watch commercials that are something you want to buy. You know how now it's free for companies to steal your information and be like, yeah, of course you love McDonald's. Let me throw you commercials for McDonald's. It's personalized. Well, that costs money, so you're gonna be taxed if you want personalized ads. And if you don't, if you want those random ads, you will be taxed still, just like a little less. Credit card tax. I thought, what a horrendous ideas. Let's charge taxes every time you use your credit card. That already exists if you use it outside the country, but let's bring it to the in country. Anytime you want to pay for groceries, you get taxed just for using your credit card. Um, and yeah, that sounds horrible, right? But I think businesses already get some of that. Every time somebody uses a credit card on their establishment, businesses do pay something like 0.8% for that transaction. So if you pay $100, that business has to pay, I don't know, a dollar or so, a dollar, 80 cents for every time you swipe that card. Yeah, I thought, what a crazy idea, man. That horrible dystopian place would charge you. Who would charge you for using a credit card? Businesses. Businesses already get charged when you use a credit card. Y'all didn't know that, huh? Here I was thinking that I really was thinking outside the box, but turns out life is sadder than I can make it. How about a cash tax? Every time you use cash, yeah, you'll be taxed on it. Oh, wait a minute. We already do get taxed on cash. Fuck. There's no way to escape tax. Um, but this one is just for using cash. Like in the future, everybody's gonna be using phones and electronic credit cards and everything, and it's gonna be an inconvenience for anybody to use cash physical because now they will always have to have like space in their computers for a little cubby where you put money in and out. Those cashier machines. Yeah, because the future it's all Apple style technology where there's nothing is really functional. It's more of an inconvenience. Everything looks flush and thin, like just a screen and iPad. Well, now you gotta make the design ugly and put a box under it so you can take cash out of it, like a cash register. Well, you're gonna be taxed for that convenience, sir. Nothing free in America. How about a road tax? Oh my God, you get taxed for using the road. It's called a toll road. It's called your money already going for for the roads. Now, the reason why I think I'm coming up with these dumb ideas that already exist, it's because it really doesn't feel like our taxes actually are going towards the things that I'm saying, like the roads and I'll wait for it, schools, parks. It doesn't look like they're going there. So that's probably why my head was coming up with them. Because at some point, our taxes will just not be enough for our governments. And they'll be like, we want more. Oh, you want that park fix over there? Well, we need more taxes. Oh, you want that school to be better? Well, we need more taxes. And we're like, bro, you already take like half. You already take all these things. How much more do you need? And I'm sure that they're gonna say that at some point because they already kind of do. Uh Healthy tax. You want healthy food, you get taxed. We kind of have that with organic food already, just being more expensive, but that's another deal. That's not a tax. Uh, how about the opposite? Just for being fat, you get taxed. All right, the roads have to be heavier. The chairs have to handle much higher weight limits. I don't know. Figure out some dystopian way to tax fat people. Doesn't Japan already do that? I heard that in YouTube that Japan already taxes people for being overweight or charges them something about their jobs, sends them to the doctor to get checked. I don't know. They get the salary deducted. School tax. I did come up with this again. Just to attend the school, you're gonna get taxed. Self-explanatory. I believe we already do that. Water tax. Here, I thought, what a revolutionary idea. Let's tax people for using the water. Oh my God. Have you seen your water bill? It already gets taxed. I bet you it does. I actually haven't seen it, but I bet it does. I bet you're paying for the water and you're paying for the tax of the water. Same thing for the electricity, phone. You already pay your phone bills and they get taxed. Um, see what I mean? See what I mean? Here I was thinking, oh, I'm gonna come up with something sad, and then life proved me wrong. Let me get out of this truck. This truck is just like, ooh, there's rocks all over here. Oh, my poor glass, my poor windshield, just rocks falling. You know those trucks that carry rocks, and then they say, if you are behind me and you get your windshield struck, you're on your own. I'm not legally bound. But I feel like that's fake. That's fake news. They're actually legally bound. That sign has no government's authority to say that. Anyways, the thing is, they just drive away and keep crashing your windshield if you follow them. Resting tax. You want to rest? You get taxed. I don't know what that would be. Everything quiet at 10 p.m. Jobless tax. That one is a good one. I don't think we have that yet. But if you don't have a job, you will be taxed until morale improve, until you get a job. That's right. You're gonna get in debt until you get a job. What a wonderful idea that is. It's definitely gonna motivate people to get a job. Homeless tax. Yes, if your city is gonna have homeless, it's gonna get taxed. If you're gonna have 50 versus 100 versus 200, oh yes, sir, your tax dollars are gonna go there. You're gonna have to pay for that. You know how when you're in apartments, you pay for sewage, trash collection, pest control that really is never there, and all the random things. Oh yeah, there's always two of them that say service fee, and you're like, what service? Well, there's gonna be one more added that says homeless care. And you look outside your window, and every hour you see more homeless, and you're like, well, I guess I'm paying for homeless tax, therefore I get more homeless. And that's exactly what it's gonna do. It's just gonna, uh, I don't know. They're not gonna do anything about it. They're just gonna say we're doing something about it. Therefore, we need your money to do something about this homeless issue. But we're gonna tax you for it. Okay, so you're gonna pay for us to fix the homeless issue. And you look outside, and you just see more every day. And you're like, well, I guess I am paying my homeless tax. I'm taking care of them. That's what I'm doing. But who's taking care of me? Whew. And that's the last idea I had written here because I got way too angry and sad about it. And I thought, well, I guess, and didn't really reinvent the wheel over here. A lot of these taxes already are happening. What do you think about that? Well, gotta do the turn. Oh, yeah. My God. Do we have any NASCAR people that grew up in Austin? Because if we don't, we sure will soon. These roads, man, these roads are curvy. These loops, 65 miles an hour. Everybody's going 65. What's that? Like 120 kilometers for European minds? Just double it and give it to the next person. Oh my, this is a Jeep. Now I got to squish between these two. Ooh, it's a miracle I live every day. The Lord is with me, that's for sure. Jeez. All right, if you guys haven't driven in Austin, just whatever you are, try to drive 20 miles above the limit and never use your brakes whenever you're taking turns or going around a loop in a highway. And you'll feel like you are driving in Austin. And then if you want to pass somebody, you gotta go 25 miles above the limit. Okay, all right. I'm not saying that that's what I'm doing. I'm saying if you want to feel like you're driving in Austin. See, can't incriminate myself over here because I'm not driving like that. You hear me, Mr. FBI? But yeah, literally everybody in Austin drives. Like, god damn, did we get our licenses, our driving license in a cereal box prize? Is that how we renew our licenses here? We just open the nearest, we go to the nearest grocery store, buy any of the cereals there. You open it and it includes a renewal license form, which you already pay with a cereal box. You don't even have to pay for it. Oh, oh my. Yeah, I know Europe has a very high standard on driving. They really make you work for it. In fact, it's an inconvenience to drive. It's just easier to walk and take the train and the bus. If you drive, that's because you really want. You really gotta fight for that license plate. In China, you gotta pay. You gotta pay like the price $20,000 just for your license plate. I don't know if you gotta do driving tests. The way they drive over there doesn't look like they do. But yeah, you gotta pay for that license plate if you want to drive in that city. That's expensive, like New York, but much better. Shanghai. Yeah, that's the city. No crime, no homelessness, no dirt and trash bag outside. Yeah, it's sad. Sad what the US has become. We really work our asses off over here. I see people. You know what? I've never seen that now that I'm thinking about it. When I was in Europe, I never see people in their cars putting makeup. Never. I never saw that in the bus, on the train, or just looking out the windows of cars. Only in America do I see people putting makeup while driving. That's just sad. That shows how go 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 we are as a culture. I mean, I'm doing a podcast while driving. Yeah, that's sad. We are. I'm trying to make it over here, and I have no time for it because I'm always go go go. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna use every second that I have available to me. Let me. Driving is the most wasted time for all Americans. 1 hour one way, 1 hour the other way. Traffic here, traffic there. Let me find out a way to make use of this dead time. But that's probably why they're putting on makeup. We just drive too much. Yeah, now it makes sense. We gotta go, go, go. So put on your makeup in your car, do your podcast in your car. Uh, and then there's some other sketchy things people do in their cars. Now there's so many ways to go about it in life. So many ways. Almost there. I'm almost there to my job. Almost there. I'm almost there. Imagine having a tax for going to your job. Oh, wait a minute. It's called salary tax. Oh, wait a minute. It's called your paycheck being taxed. Here I am trying to figure out ways to, and that was my premise. I thought Okay, so I want to come up with ideas. Let me think of the most unfair way to tax people. Things that they cannot escape. They don't have any choice to not do. They must do it, and it's already sort of dreadful. And then on top of that, now they gotta pay for it. Jeez, it's like when you were kids and your father was about to punish you or your mother, and he's like, "Bringing me the belt that I'm gonna use to beat you up with. Bring me a sandal that I'm gonna use. Bring me the weapon of your punishment." And you gotta go over there and like shamefully grab it and make it more convenient for them. That's how it feels. Any of you had that traumatic childhood that you don't think is traumatic, but it actually was? All right. Nobody? I know somebody had it. Well, that's how it feels to be taxed for working. You're like, let me go do this thing that if I had all the money in the world, I wouldn't do. Um, and I'll pay for it. I'll pay for it. Oh, America. America. We got taxed long time ago and did a whole tea party going on thing for 2% tax on tea that we didn't even want or something. I don't even know. Nobody ever knows that story. We all just know there was tea, there was a party, and a tax. And we threw that tea in the water. And you know what? We say that it happened once, but I've never investigated further. I'm pretty sure it just didn't happen once. It probably happened every single time a ship brought tea. People would like, and that was fun. That wouldn't fly now. I don't think it would. I think if you try that now, you'll get like military or police arresting you right away. Like imagine go to a trailer, you stop it in the middle of the road, you steal everything they have in there and just throw it on the floor, and burn it. Yeah, you'd be persecuted for that. But do it to boats back in 1794 or whatever that year was, and you're good. You'll make it to the history books. You never think about the fish that had all that tea, that water got flavor that day, tea flavor. Well, so I'm almost there to my job, and I was about to get there, but I kept going. There's this very dangerous turn. I'll tell you about it. I'll tell you that I will spill the tea. This loop, you know, that U turn that you do, the legal U turn on a bridge. Yeah, well, that bridge is horrendous. You can barely see what car is coming. There's like a hill where they just start spawning from. And when they spawn, it's a bit too late. So last time I was driving in that area, some dude died taking that U turn. Um, yeah, car got hit somehow. Don't know where the other car was. Never saw it. But I saw the victim just with a car flipped to the other side of the road. Um, turn, I would say turn, not flip backwards, but turn to the opposite side of where somebody would normally drive. And they were putting tarps so people wouldn't look. And when they start putting tarps and there's 6 cops, you know somebody died right away. Right away. When the government is like nothing to see here, there's a lot to see there. And some of my coworkers were there a little earlier and they saw the body on the floor with like a tarp with the arms just on the outside. Like they didn't move the arms. They didn't have a tarp large enough or they didn't put 2 tarps. Like the economy is really bad right now, the recession, that they're just using 1 tarp to cover the body. And if the arms are coming out, then they come out. All right. We don't have money for a second tarp. I know, I understand they don't want to move the body for evidence, but you could have used the second blanket just saying, uh, I don't know. I didn't. Maybe they did later. Maybe they were just too early where they laid down the first turn. Anyways, my point is that turn took a life already and it was nasty. Nasty way to go. And I always use that turn. But after I saw that, I'm a little traumatized. And I say, you know what? I'm going to skip it. I've got a loving family. no loving wife and baby, and I don't really need to go to work where I get taxed just to die in a U-turn. That's crazy. And then to die in a road that I paid for with my tax dollars, where they can only afford one blanket. I paid for two. I mean, I could have paid for two, maybe. So yeah, that's no way to go. No way to go. So now I take the longer way, which is just go a little more straight. It's still another U-turn, but now there is a red light, green light, whatever you call those things. Oh, I don't know, America. It helps the traffic and it's a light. Let me call it a traffic light. Beautiful, isn't it? English, the language that just explains to you what everything does. Hey, I want to ride on a horse. Where do you ride on it? In the back of the horse. So let's call it horseback riding. And I want to take a walk right next to the street, um, but not really in the middle of it, more like on the side. But I really want to walk. What should I call it? The sidewalk. Okay. Out of ideas now. Thank you for listening and have a good rest of your day.